flashback of life. Slip past the vulture in the blue and gray. Hijack boots with a whole lot to say. Whole lot of fuzz in 2017. Criminal industry, if you know what I mean. Gotta watch out on the road, boy. Those pigs will eat anything. They're after that hobbit ring, but you ain't headed to Mordor, sister. You ain't headed anywhere. Except north on 91 maybe, or west on 9, maybe towards New York City, or even down south to Asheville or Austin, or truck on through to New Orleans. But you better be tough if you go down south. That's where Fonda and Hopper shot, and were shot, and shot themselves. And hippies die down there in supernatural ways, you know? Iceberg Slim style, so you better be like Brits or Blankenship if you head down there. I took the road to New England. Northeast was my fate. As a cub, I wandered the road and pondered the road, born in the mountains of old West Virginia and on to the Blue Ridge. You find out there what's in ya. Then at just 5, I landed in hell, surrounded by demons who always wish you well, but strike in the night and present your worst fears, teach you to fight so you sharpen your spear. This hell is here in the US of A. This hell is in cities like Pittsburgh, PA, and I made it out of that hell so intense. Landed in the Midwest and my innocence commenced. The glorious Flint, Michigan in its second golden era. Steampunk before steampunk, more real than you're aware of. The end of GM, the age of the shop rat, a neo-hippie era with deadheads and mall rats, and we sat drinking coffees at Rio Coney Island and smoking butts full of luck. Adrift from the violence. We had a punk scene at the Capitol Theater. We drank at 15 in Churchill's with Phaedra. Even the freaks could be free at the Triangle or run crack the whip if you want that death angle. The preppy girls and boys on their pink and blue sprees. The mechanics, Mad Maxes, yearning to be free. The crafty old shop rats and their intellectual friends lighting candles at the torch, riding it out in a Chevelle to the bitter end, to Buckham Alley. Or by a dumpster behind the old Water Street. Watch the river fall to the valley, miles and miles below your feet. Everybody was armed, everybody was drunk, everybody was high, everybody was free, and I was in love, and she was my angel, and my brothers were warriors, and my parents were alive, and I trusted my fellow earthlings. A decade, a golden decade in Flint. Flint! It gave you Michael Moore, but it gave us Ben Hamper, the rivet head, the patron saint of powers high, the true steampunk angel hipsters of my time in Flint. Next to old gangs, of course, the A-Bear brothers, old Schmitty, G-Funk, Letus Brown, Grandstaff, the Wright brothers, and all the other spirit brothers and sisters, J.R., Alice in Wonderland, Mama Phaedra, Seraph Christie, Wicked Alyssa, Alicia, Holy Holly. It flew all away one day, and I found myself on the road again. My heroes were dying. Ginsburg dead, Garcia dead, my father, the only one who ever really knew me, dead, but all still in my head, a blessing and a curse, guiding me halfway around the world, from Hemingway House to Anne Frank's attic, surrounded by fungus I picked up at the Dead Sea, still potent. I had a degree under my belt. I was a true Spartan, a beta fish. Somehow I got caught up in Boston, the glorious, muddy, sex-fueled, Irish, Italian, black, and beautiful Boston. 3 years I went from a basement in Brookline to a house by Whitey's in Somerville. Coasted along with real hipsters, Dougie Fresh and Sloan Daddy and Alex Filler, and we raged through the apocalyptic wet dreams of 2001, watching the war on TV, and one day we fled the fallout and the flags of 9/11. About a week after the crash bomb attacks, and I came to Vermont. That was 16 years ago. I knew one day I'd come back to stay, and here I am, back on the road, watching for vultures and hijack boots, but I made it to Vermont with a small stash to boot. Now, it ain't just me. Now I'm multiplied. Now I've got my cubs. Now it's time to decide. 10 years now in southern Vermont. Ain't a golden era here. It's quartz and opal and diorite and diamonds and fractured pearls. Locals find their gemstones here the southern way, North of the Pioneer Valley, far from the Burlington fray, here where the whetstone once flooded, here where the few bullets fly, here where bald eagles find rest from the hunters who snipe by their nests and hide. Mud season now, as I look at this land, springtime, 2017. My heart and my wallet broke as a joke, but I'm still feeling fresh and clean. I've gathered my hipsters, my New England crew, Vermonters, massholes, Connecticutans too, ready to break now this American shell. Go back on tour. Patchouli, that's what I smell.